Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. Science of Getting Rich in Chapter 8 says, it is not enough that you should have a general desire for wealth to do good with. Everybody has that. Everybody has that desire. It is not enough that you should have a wish to travel, see things, live more, etc. Everybody has those desires also. Going on, Nate. Yes, yes, yes. Can you guys hear me on YouTube? Everybody has. What it's saying is everybody has those same appreciated ace desires. You must have it before you can give it, and many people fail to impress thinking substance because they have themselves only a vague and misty concept of the things they want to do, to have, or to become. In other words, what he's trying to make and drive home is the point, the idea of a clear vision. Like the clearer it becomes, the more you can see it. What's up, man? Turn these comments off just so I don't get sidetracked. Positive vibes, loud and clear. So, this is the Money Flow Gang logo I've been playing with. I like this. These are obviously candlesticks. I don't trade with candlesticks, but bars just didn't look right, man. And I was playing with the Bitcoin, the Bitcoin coin, and it's got the thing, and I'm like, this is what anyway, I dug it. I thought it was cool. Let's get out of that. When you get into the world of trading, a lot of definitions. What does it mean to be a trader? What is it trading? And if he says you must have it before you can give it, and many people fail upon to impress thinking substance because they have themselves only a vague and misty concept of things they want to do, to have, to become. Don't let that mess you up as you read this book. You're like, man, thinking substance, what is that? And it's like, man, that's, nobody knows, man. That's where prayers go. That's where deja vu comes from. That's where, epiphanies, ideas. You ever just sit down and just bam, and an idea just hits you, just boom, and it makes you some money, comes up with something. Well, the more you begin to apply that to the markets and charts, I think the better off you're going to be. There's only 3 concepts behind trading and investing. It's mind, money, and method, right? So simple. And you got to get all 3 of these lined up. You got to get your mind. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the chart we're looking at right here in front of you. And as you see, this thing is going straight down, right? Hold on. I'm buying a new computer, man. It gets hard, man. I get attached to computers, and I don't like to let them go. But we broke support, baby. So if you're new to trading and you're looking at this, depending on your time frame, depending on your mind, your method, and the amount of money you have, could change how you might interpret this. And so there's millions of people participating in these markets. There's millions of people looking at data and information, and they're all looking at it, and they're all coming at it from they have different amounts of money, man. You might come in. I put $250 in an E-Trade account in 1997, and I bought some shares of T. That was my big move. I tell you, no, don't do that today. That's silly. But it's not silly, because doing that is what got me into the stock market, man. And it costs like $40 to do the trade, man, on top of it. So I actually had more money in there, and that's what it cost to get control of those shares. And then as I began, a lot of times I'd look at the paper. Like, the internet is just coming on, man. I'm looking at it on TV, the price of it. And and you get a kind of, you can get addicted to that. You're watching this price go up, and you notice As I began to do this, I began to see like there seems to be patterns, but there seems to be different ways of doing it. Some people are looking at data. Some people are reading the news. Some people are looking at economic reports. Some people are they're doing all these things to try to maybe position themselves, right? If one of the concepts of the money flow is that price goes to where it's been before. So this is where we're going to see these. Watch this, man. These highs become these lows. Just go with me if you don't know what I'm talking about. These areas of support and resistance, right? You're going to start seeing them playing out. Now, what I began to use these for is as price would fall, I would assume it'd stop at one. If it didn't hold, I assume it would go to the next one. If that one doesn't hold, I just assume it's going to the next one. And you say, well, what do you mean by that? Well, if it breaks, I don't need to do anything till it gets down here. I assume it's going there. And making these sets of assumptions began to what? Help me define a set of rules on how I would approach the market, how I would look at stocks. And I began to realize that these things trade like sports teams or TV series. Like they're just always on the move, man. And there's different things that affect different things, man. Got this chart way too far back. Let me check something. We've been in the news talking about lumber, inflation, right? Inflation is in the news. What if you're listening to that and you're thinking, oh, shit. And you're watching Barron's and you're watching this and you're watching that. And people come on TV and they say, look, man, inflation is going to the fucking moon. We are completely destroyed. We have no chance of survival. Planet and the economy and America, as you know it, are over. People do that, you know. And look at these waves, man. If we just put the money flow, this is the continuous price of the chart of lumber, price of lumber, right? We begin to look at these. Wow. Notice where lumber's stopping. Went straight down. Where's it stopping? Pretty much where it stopped before, man. That confuses people. You say, what do you mean where it stopped before? Man, it did it before, man. I didn't say when. I just said it did it. It might be on this side of the chart. Shit might be on this side of the chart. Price will go to where it's been before, and then it tends to stop, man. Not always. And when it blows through it, I just assume it's going to the next one. Like, it ain't complicated. So the next one would be right down here, right? If it blew through that one, shit, we assume it's going to 650. Now, remember, this thing had rocketed higher. I mean, is it possible to thought this was a top? Could you have called that? Pretty simple. If you study the money flow and you look at charts and you analyze this and you start learning about indicators, right? Now we've gone from mindset to now we're talking about method, but part of the method is these tools that are going to help us, right? So if I want to build a porch, I'm going to need what am I going to need? A skill saw. I'm going to need a fucking way of cutting it. Probably a miter saw. I'm going to need an impact drill. I'm going to need some tools, man, to help me get through it. That's what these are. These are called indicators. Indicators just take fucking number sets and put it in a graph that make it easy to understand. This up here is called a RSI. It measures the last 14 days of price movement. That's it. It's just a little fucking sneak peep and tom, man. It's just following price. Where you at? Calculate it. Where you at? Calculate it. Where you at? Calculate it. Every day it's calculating for you. This shit here is working for you. When you get into the money flow trading system and you start understanding that prices move and that Dogecoin moves and Bitcoin moves and fucking bonds move and mortgage REITs and interest rates and growth stocks and penny stocks and biotech stocks and like all these different things. And inside of there's like 255 fucking subsectors. Inside of the S&P 500, which is 500 stocks, there are 12 major sectors, right? And those are represented by the Spider Index ETFs. So you could have an industrials. You could have what? Financials. What else could you have? Utilities. These are subsectors of the United States represented by the 500 companies that make up the S&P 500. And so we can look at that index. And if you know all of that, and you begin to know the companies make up this index can fucking speak to you the way it can't speak to your friend who doesn't understand the index. And so if I look at this chart and you show me this and we're standing in Walmart and you hand it to a stranger and you say, sir, what do you think is happening? He doesn't know. He sees some green up here. Looks like it went up. He doesn't know if this is far. He doesn't know if this is a 1 minute chart or a 1 hour chart. That would change it. If this is a monthly chart, that tells you something different than if it's a 5 minute fucking chart, right? So we began to look at, now there's context and there's time. So what's your time frame as you come to this game? So if your time frame isn't clearly defined, how do you know the game you're playing? How can you create rules around what you're doing? Science Getting Rich says in chapter 8, you must have it before you can give it. Many people fail to impress thinking substance. That's the place prayers go. That's the stuff shit science can't explain, man. You meet someone, you feel like you've known them before, you get a business idea, you get pulled toward a certain stock, you feel a need, hey man, I need to buy more of this than normal. You get led to ideas, things, epiphanies, things come into your mind, you begin to see. So I began to do that with I spent years doing the stocks, man. And then one day it dawned on me, as a general rule, this doesn't apply to commodities. Commodities go up and down and up and down. This is like fucking gold and oil. It ain't going to 1 trillion. There's a price where people can't pay it anymore. They stop building houses. Nobody orders fucking lumber. And then it comes down. Supply and demand, man. So as COVID took off factories and people cutting down trees and taking them to the processor and blah, 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 and supply runs out, now what? Supply and demand. Prices run up, man. Wasn't complicated. Now as more and more come on, prices come down, man. Inflation, deflation, right? Not really called deflation, though. I forget the term. So I began to create some basic rules. Just this is until it isn't. It is till it isn't. And I ain't trying to outthink it. It just is until it isn't. That's how I began to look at everything. And I began to look back and I noticed, okay, that's lumber. What if we did, let's do where are we at? Oh, geez. Pull up the Dow. And if I took the Dow to a weekly and I backed up the Dow chart, look, what I noticed, it basically goes up all the time, except it has moments and fits and it comes down real fast. And so price just drifts up, man. It just drifts up. And every so often, it fucking comes down. That's what it does as it moves up. That's what it does. This is a weekly chart. Each one of these bars is 1 week of trading. Look, that was a scary week. Oh my God, Gerald, it's going down. And it went straight down for a week. Then it turned right around and went straight up for a week. And then up, and then down, and then up, and then down. And it just keeps going. And then look, now it looks down. So if we're looking at this weekly chart where each bar is a week and we back up, okay, like it was way down here. Now it's way up here, right? Look, it did it over here too. But if you take this to a daily, it's a lot bigger swings, right? So time perspective. What is your time perspective? If we back up to where each one of these is a month, look where it goes over time. And you can just keep doing this all the way back to 1850, man. You can just keep doing it. And there may be periods where it goes sideways for a long time, then it goes higher. And you can go back and look at Bitcoin, Snapchat, Facebook, Amazon, Google. Not complicated. Not weird stocks. Right? Let's see. So if we have that general belief that quality assets over time go up, guess what? That could become a rule. Fuck, man, let's write that down. I believe stocks go up. All right. What does that tell me? What insight could that give me? Man, I should buy them when they're not going up. I should do the opposite of this, and then I'll make the most money. So I could write a rule, right? And I began to define that. What does that mean? And that's when I had to get these indicators. I needed tools. If I'm going to build a porch, I need some shit, right? So that's what these began to help me with, because I can't tell bottoms, but here's what I know. Every one of them look the same. They all look the same. And so if I'm trading something, now I begin to put all this together. Now think about it. I'm going into the universe saying, hey, I'd like to be successful at this. I'd like you to open my eyes and show me the money flow. Let me see stores differently when I'm at the dentist and I'm looking and I go, I wonder who makes this machine. And I walk around the aisle and I, like, what kind of stuff are they buying? And what kind of, wow, everybody here drives trucks, or man, it's really hot here. I bet you need an AC. Like, you began to see things differently, man. That's the money flow, man. I'm sitting at McDonald's. Man, let me tell you how close it is. It's all around you. I'm sitting at McDonald's. It's like 2005. I think it's 2005. And a guy comes in and they start installing a machine. And I was like, what are you doing? And he goes, you can rent these videos, DVDs, and then you can just return them to any McDonald's. And it's a test pilot. You remember that red box? Yeah, man. I'm sitting right there as they're putting it in. Oh, by the way, I trade stocks. By the way, I got a brokerage account. By the way, I got money in it. In other words, I can actually take fucking action on the thing that I'm seeing happening in front of me. With my fingers. Back then, though, you know, we were logging in, but was I on? Nah, we were off dial-up by then. So I'm sitting, and I can just go down the list on these. Look at oil. We're going to set up some charts in just a second from scratch, man. Let's look at... Let's pull up some oil. What do we see, man? You see the price of oil sells off, right? Then it goes up, sells off, starts to go up, sells off, and goes up, right? So the easiest ones to play, this is a monthly chart. We take this down to a weekly. Let's watch. I live in Texas. They make this shit around me. There's oil wells everywhere. It's oil people that work for oil companies. There's drillers. There's line people. They're everywhere. They're all around me, right? We have small drilling companies, large drilling companies. But let me tell you who's always drilling. Exxon, Conoco, and Chevron, right? And then we could step out Halliburton. We could go, we could just keep adding oil companies. We could go from tier A, tier B, tier C, right? And so as I watch all this happening, maybe I want to get a penny stock or two, right? I want to get a mid cap, right? And then I want to get a major. And so I sit back and I fucking analyze this and I say, okay, I live in oil country and there's people all around me doing this job. So I know it's real. Like, I can see the pumps, I see the trucks, I see the companies, and they get fucking smashed and the price sells off big time. What do you think is going to happen next? You think, oil went to zero on this last one. You know how many booms and busts and ups and downs they've done in the state of Texas? And then oil runs, and it runs too high, and it goes higher and higher, and then there's issues, and there's wars and fucking inflation, and it goes higher and higher until something tragic, something happens, and then it goes back down. This game's been going on and on and on and on for 100 years in the state of Texas, right? Since they started trading this thing, man. And so as an operator of the money flow, what do I know? And this is on a weekly chart, right? But I look for price to form a box, and a box is defined by what? It's got to put in a bottom. So we finally get a bottom, and a box is defined by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 that close above the 5-day moving average. That is the signal that I've hit the bottom, right? You understand the money flow. Price has fallen, gone too far. The RSI is registered extreme. That just measures velocity. This tells you how far a price has gone from top to bottom. In the last 14 days, or in this 14-week trading session, price has gone too far, too fast, meaning it's now statistically going to pull back. That's what this is saying. It's like a rubber band. It gets stretched. Doesn't mean it ain't going to pop again, but it means it's pulled too far. And now it's going to whip back. Even if it comes down, it's still going to whip back. This is how bases are formed. This is how support and resistance is formed. And this game plays out to the top and to the bottom. It doesn't matter if it's fucking oil or Bitcoin or lumber or Starbucks or a penny stock or a biotech or Dogecoin or anything. Prices go up based on greed. Prices come down based on fear. And in the meantime, they stop where they were before, and we get support and resistance, which is one of the 6 components of the money flow, right? Where price has been before it stops. When it does that, it forms a ceiling or a point of resistance, right? We see it do it down here too. And these things mean something to us. And what they mean is when this one is broken, it's more important than when it touched it right here. When it touched it right there, I'd say, hey, we might hold support here. If we do, it means we're headed back up. If we don't, it means we're going to the next one. I don't know. I just know what it does, right? And so that's just how I look at it. I make a set of assumptions that I do the same every time. Guess what? In order for price to go up, they all have to come true. And in order for it to go down, they all have to come true. And so that just made things easy for me. Meaning I can sit down to play blackjack and I can have a hand. Statistically, you should double that hand. Why? Because it's in your favor. You still don't know the next card. There's no certainty. And so as I become comfortable with that as a gambler, I better be real comfortable with uncertainty. In other words, uncertainty can't rattle me or I'm not a professional player. If knowing something can happen and then it happens rattles you, you obviously didn't know it was going to fucking happen. You weren't prepared for it. So you might say, maybe I could invest my emergency fund. Yeah, because you've never had a fucking emergency. The moment you have a real emergency that rattles your life, puts your family at jeopardy, could cause you actual fucking harm. I mean, real harm. You won't do that again. You'll have an emergency fund. Meaning it's not real to you. That's why you're looking for other alternatives. Right? So the reason people don't follow a system is they still don't believe it. They still have other ideas. They haven't created a set of rules. Now, you may operate like that. But what I'm trying to show is an idea where people can operate within construct of rules they set for themselves. Gerald, are you planning on getting out of oil due to new energy companies? You asked me a question like that again. No, we're not getting out of oil companies, man. That's some shit I've been listening to for 20 years. Green energy and this and that. All that's going to come. Guess who's going to push it in? Oil companies, man. Guess who's got the money to fund alternative energy? Oil companies, because they control the energy. So when it does go alternative, it'll be the big guys doing it. Notice Ford is going to production with a electronic truck, and all these growth. Where's rides? Rides can't even stay open. They can't even keep the fucking factory open. And Ford, one of the old stodgy old school core companies, is going to push out an electric truck. Not Elon. His fucking truck ain't out. Right? So what does that mean? Guess what? The oil companies are going to be ones that are going to do that, man. What pisses me off with people with Bitcoin, like, oh, it uses so much energy. No shit. Who do you think's going to lower the energy use? Most valuable thing out there, man. This is the problem. This is the problem with families, right? You get rich. And so you begin to teach your children a little different. Well, I don't want little Johnny to do any suffering. It might get hot. When he sweats, he gets acne. Right? And so you raise your kid like this, and he's fucking soft on all angles, man. And now he's got to go into the world, and no one's treating him like that. That's what happens, man. We do it to ourselves, and we all know what made, like, you'll meet guys, yeah, man, it was my upbringing. We used to have to fight and blah, 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 and the shit we went through. And that's the character that built the person, right? That's the people we look up to, right? And you're like, oh, he's a scrappy kid from blah, blah, blah. That's not how people want. The moment they get money, they change all that, man. They want to keep all that out of the equation. Any discomfort. People will do more to avoid pain and suffering than to gain pleasure, man. That's a human trait. You know how many times I've been asked the question, Gerald, I inherited this money. I don't want to use it because I want to be a self-made millionaire. I don't want to use my daddy's money or my grandma's money. So I'm going to leave it in an account. Now, I've been asked this 100 times. I'm going to leave it in an account for my kids. Oh, so you're afraid of what it'll do to you and your character while you become a millionaire, but you're cool to just push it onto your children. So what you see is a slight or not, you didn't do it or whatever fuck you're connecting to this idea. Your children know, let's just give it to them. Let's just make it easy. I wouldn't do that for me, but let me do that for them. I get that question all the time. Isn't that weird? Isn't that some funny shit going on in your mind, man? Tell me that's not a mind thing. You must have it before you can give it, and many people fail to impress thinking substance because they have themselves only a vague and a misty concept of things they want to do, to have, or to become. So as I come into the money flow, I'm looking to accumulate shares. If my hold time is for life, I'm looking to accumulate shares after big sell-offs, and it puts in a point, and then it seems to hold that point, right? Especially if it's ever been here before, right? Wherever price has been before, we assume it goes again, which is exactly where it keeps stopping, right? And I'm on the extreme, so RSI, check. Stage 4 decline, check. Puts in a pivot point, check. RSI goes extreme. Price starts to go sideways, check. Price moves above the 5-day moving average, check. Right? Check, 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 check. So if I'm looking, look, there we are. We're doing this shit on a phone, man. Come on, man. If I'm looking at this pattern, and I believe, I said at the beginning, we got to have some fundamental beliefs. If you don't have these, you can't trade, bro. You can't trade. You got to create a set of assumptions, a set of rules. They don't have to be my rules. I just share mine with the universe. I don't know yours. I'm just saying, I know for a fact and convinced stocks go up 71% of the time. And you say, oh, well, maybe this year it's only 65. All right, I can live with that. It's still most of the time. Well, what if it's 73? Well, we're playing hand grenades. It's close. It's like I said, 71. Let's go with that. The problem is it's not a straight line. Price can only do one of three things. It can move up, it can move down, it can move sideways. And I believe price does this in 4 stages. By identifying the stage, we can either better allocate the best ways to buy to take advantage of a sell-off, which would be a stage 4 decline. We can witness the sell-off and maximize price to increase profits in stage 3s. Meaning I would want to sell into strength so price runs up. And I want to look to what? Buy into weakness. And I want to move this money forward inside of my portfolio. So if we were to look at the price of lumber and you say, well, I don't know anything about lumber. I know. Watch. If we were to look at the price of lumber, let's say you did. I don't know. I don't know shit about lumber. I know what the price is, though. It's $897. I don't know what that means or how much that is, but that's the price, right? Look where it stopped. Right on the 200. They call that a doji. I call that a Jesus cross. So we got a Jesus cross right on the 200, which that's my whole book is about the 200. This is my new one. RSI is extreme. Check. Big move down. Check. Too far. Check. Stopped at support. Check. Has it ever been here before? Check. Check, 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 check. Now what do I need? I need a box to be built. What does that mean? That means I need 4 consecutive days to hold this low. So if I was trading this, and I don't know shit about trading this, I don't need to know shit about trading this. I know how price moves. I want to buy this. I want to sell into this. Isn't that what we just talked about right here? Now, in order to do this, you got to have a clear vision of price. You need to understand fucking lumber. If you were going to do it with lumber, I don't know lumber. Don't give a shit. But I do have stocks that trade around lumber. So lumber becomes what? The wind for stocks. So if you come into if we're looking at the money flow, now we're going to take this down a little bit. I'm going to talk to you like you're sitting next to me now. All right. Here's what you got to know. When you wake up tomorrow, you're going to need to know about 5 things. Where's the S&P 500? What stage is the S&P 500 in right now? Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, or stage 4? You need to determine that for yourself. Now, we can have what we call gray areas. I talk about this in the boot camp. Sometimes there's gray areas. It's not clear enough yet. It could be 1 or 2. It could be 3 or 4. It could be, meaning price is technically going sideways, holding support, but everything is rolling over, and you'll have these zones. What do? I err on the side of price goes up 71% of the time. I'm not looking to take the 29% of the bet. So I look at SPY. That's 500 stocks right there. That's the wind to 500 stocks. Blowing on them. If this isn't going up, they're going to have a hard time going up. Not conclusively, but as a general rule. Gold stocks, right? Tied in with the mining sector, tied in with other precious metals. It's bigger than just gold. It's part of the complex, though. Gold becomes the wind. Oil pushes a lot of different sectors, industrial, various, obviously, oil stocks themselves, right? Drillers, financing companies. You don't think banks are connected to oil? Who do you think loans them the money to drill the fucking holes in the ground? Banks, other lenders, insurers, side people, trucking companies, people that put down gravel and sell sand and water and food and transportation and trailers. And all this stuff is tied into this sector, which is the price. This whole game revolves around the price of oil. So where is the price of oil? Is it in an uptrend or is it in a downtrend? You say, Gerald, what does that have to do with Dogecoin? Nothing. That is nothing. Because that one falls in down here under Bitcoin. What stage is Bitcoin in? The chances of your altcoin having a sustained rally? Now, some do. There are outliers. But the chances of across the board, if you own 20 of them, that you think they're going to go up, if Bitcoin's going down, it is not happening. You may catch 1 or 2 here. There is not enough money in this space to push them all up while this stays down. If this doesn't go up, they don't go up. Period. So once you understand that, right, that might begin to change the way that you look at these charts. So these are the 4 things that I'm looking at every morning when I wake up. Where's the SPY? Where's gold? Look, you may say, what about technology? Yeah, we can add it. How many can your brain hold? I can hold a lot, but I'm not going to sit and list them all. I assume you understand if we come over here and we put in technology, right, we're going to have a different, what stage is technology in? Stage 2. Would I be looking at shorting this? Not if you're doing the money flow. Everything's going out. So if we go back to, where's it at? Come on, baby. Lose it. Closed up. Chump move. Uh-oh. Look at it. Looking at the real estate on the hunt. On the hunt every day. Looking. I got a house fixing to sell. When it sells, I got 45 days to buy. What's my plan? What's the index? What's the index to what I'm doing there? The index is the average price range, right? Price per square foot, man. Price per square foot, right? So as I'm looking at properties, I got to know my price per square foot, right? That's the index price. Is my house above it or below it? That becomes an indicator, right? So I need to map this out. All right, I got an area of location that I want to get a property, right? Boom, we know that. That narrows it down on Realtor. Oh, what else do we need to know? Okay, I'm 1031. You need to get this. Let me show you something real quick. We're going to come back to this, but we're going to come back to this. So this house right here. Oh, sorry, hold on. Where are we at? This house right here. So I have it for sale. The moment it sells, basically I got 45 days to get moving. So I'm already moving, right? So I need to know, I want to roll this 190 to avoid all taxes using a 1031 exchange. Sometimes people go, do you think Biden's going to appeal it? Don't give a fuck. Right now, I got to do this. I'm not worried about the future. I'll worry about that when we get there because it don't matter. What am I going to do? Stop doing real estate? People are like, well, what am I doing? Good. I mean, what are you going to do? Stop doing it and do what? What are you going to go do instead? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's only so many things you can do. And the game works whether they have a 1031 or not. Hello. The realtor I'm talking to had never done, she's been a realtor 17 years, never done a 1031. So I don't know who she's been selling to. I'm going to roll this into a duplex. And I need to know square footage, and I need to know the location that I want to buy in, right? I'm going to try to figure out how much down is that going to be. That's going to be about 30. So that gives me a price point, right? If I want to make 100, let's round it to 200, keep the math simple as my down payment, means I could push up into $600,000 properties, right? And finance it on a 30-year note if I wanted to, right? Let's get back to trading. You see what I'm saying, though, is I'm working out the plan. I'm writing it down. You should do that with your trading. So if price is breaking above this green line, what does that mean? He's breaking out, right? And the moment it does it over here, I'm now giving it the benefit of the doubt. That's the way it wants to go. You say, why? Because 71% of the time, price goes up. So if I keep that in the back of my mind, that's the wind. The wind is that most of the time, prices want to go up. And so if that's true, right? That's true in real estate, right? So if I'm buying a $600,000 house, in order for that to be true, I need to not buy it when it's at the top, right? So I need to make sure I'm not paying too much per square foot. Otherwise, I might have a hard time getting that push up. And so as I begin to, like, all this stuff kind of starts to make sense, man. Starts to look kind of the same. The money flow's real, man. Price is really moving up and really moving down, right? And so my belief is prices move sideways near the top of the RSI. They come down, they stop, right? What do? They put in a bottom. Then they give a fourth candle, giving us our box. And then they start to move up. There's our breakout. We honor it. And where's it going to go? Well, we know it's probably going to go to at least where it was before. It tried to push above. It couldn't do it. Came back down, right? Where did it stop? Right where it was before. Right? And then what did it do? Turn right around. So there's our box, our fourth candle holding this bottom. And then what? We head up. Where's it going? Well, probably about where it was before, right? I mean, that's what it's doing, right? Is it inching a little higher each? Yeah, this thing is organic. This thing is alive. These are zones. This is like hand grenades. This isn't perfect. This isn't like, oh, the exact point at 67.9, calculate. Like, it's not that. It's not calculus. It's just general zones, man. General zones. Look where man, you got my boot camp. We get into that. You can go forever on support and resistance. Look at this. How many times is it going to stop there? You can just see them. The ones that pop that you can just see are obvious. These are the ones that are the strongest, right? So we know if price comes down, when it does, it will come down. You know that, right? It will. And when it does, where's it going? Well, probably here. And then what? Here. That one breaks ultimately, what? Way down here. So on the next pullback, does it make it that far? Probably not. Probably comes right into here, right? So if I was looking to short it, where do I want to get out? Where it was before, right? But that game there is tight. So if you're playing that game, if you're playing the go short game, you better shorten your fucking window. Why? Because in your world, stocks go down 29% of the time. Let that sink in. We just had to change our mindset. Stocks go down 29% of the time. I'm playing the 29%. I'm playing the 29% when I try to short. That's what I'm doing. Meaning I'm going to, but guess what? They do it fast, which means guess what? This trade's got to move a little faster. So I'm going to take the profits quicker. Why? Because most of the time stocks go up And I'm playing against the natural draw and natural push of the universe to go higher, man. So you got to your game's got to be different on that side. If you're trying to short, if I was just getting started, that wouldn't even be trying to do that. Why? I want to master the easy shit. 71. Let's play that game. And you don't lose, man. If you're playing the 71 side, you can play it without losing. Just don't sell. See, if you're playing the short side, you got to sell. You have to fucking cover. That's why AMC went so high. They don't get the option to wait it out, man. It could financially destroy them. You could lose all of your money. Because it can go infinite, man. Right? When you're playing to the short side, there's a limit. You're playing a 29% of the time game where there is an actual limit. It's called fucking zero. When it hits zero, that's game's over. What's the limit to AMC? There is no limit. It could go higher and 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 higher, and you'll bust out and lose all of your money because you're short. And so if you play that, you have to understand the possibilities of that. So what does that mean? They have different sets of rules. Shorts cover. Shorts have to get out. Shorts have to, right? Which what? Pushes the stock price up big time. That's what happens. That's why a short squeeze is so powerful. You don't want to be on the other side of that, man. Why play that game? Why play? I mean, unless you have some, why be drawn to that? You know, if you're just getting going, if you can just play the game of prices just go up over time. So if we look at we go to a monthly chart of the Dow and we just back up and look, man, this is 10 years, bro. Been a lot of doomsayers in these 10 years. Grant Cardone, Robert Kiyosaki, a lot of people, oh, don't buy stocks. They just go up and up and up. Guess where they're going to keep going? Up. Guess where they're going to be when your kids are born? Higher. Guess where house prices will be when your kids are born? Higher. When your kids' kids are born? Higher. Their kids higher. Same as it was for your grandfather. Right? What was the Dow Jones when your dad was born? What about his dad? What about you? What about your kids? And in the midst of that is feast and famine and wars and fear and, you know, panic and all that. And yet there's people like Warren Buffett just get richer and richer, and the Waltons and the Sam, you know, and the Costco's and the Mark Zuckerbergs and the Jeff Bezos. Do you think Jeff Bezos goes, you think I should use a stop loss? You think Jeff Bezos is like, I need a stop loss. I don't want to lose my shares. No. And he's rich as fuck, man. Like, you got to ask advice. Like, how could I get rich? I don't know. Invest with him. Do what he's doing. Just buy this shit. Stage ones, man. Just do it all the time. Just buy them like that. I mean, like, seriously. Like, these guys are billionaires for a reason, man. He owns a bunch of shares. So if you go look at his stock and you understand what a bottom looks like, right? You sit and where the hell did we go? If we're looking at the money flow, man, when I got this, blew my mind. So as I'm trying to trade this just in and out, ego trying to pick it up. I want to get long. I'm going to get long, write it up, then go to puts and BB, take it down and write it down and then tell everybody I told you so, and then get back long and just move in and out. You could do that. You could do that. If you stay on top and you're good at it, do it. Do it. Most people can't do that. Most people got a fucking job. They're working. They actually can't just stare at their computer screen. Okay. So as I began to realize I can't just sit here and stare at my computer screen, I have other shit to do, you know, I began to realize, well, if this goes up almost all the time, why don't I just use that to my advantage? And so then it began to change how I traded, you know, and, or even how I invested, because I realized that if I'm investing, you say, well, how do you know when to buy, man? Well, I just began to look for stage ones. And then I would buy more of it, you know, if I wanted it, if I wanted to accumulate it, if I was trying to collect dividends. I don't want to buy these, right? I can see on the fucking RSI that's kind of high. Right? But you say, well, I'm not patient. Well, I don't know then. I don't know what to tell you. This is what they do. They come down. And when they do, they come down to where they were before, you know. And then it stops and it starts to go sideways and sets up. trade those. And then we fully expect it to go where it was before. And I just began to trade around this concept. One, trade, but I also began to invest around it. So I might nibble in my buy and hold over here. And at the same time, I might put on a swing trade. Right? Especially if I could go and I can value what this is worth. And based on whether I'm swing trading, I'm going to catch the swing, door swings open. I'm going to get in, I'm going to get out. That is a swing trade, right? Sometimes people get it fucking confused because they're like, what do you think I should do with this stock? And I'm like, well, what the fuck are you doing with the stock? Meaning, why did you not have a thing of assumptions? Why are you just clicking on things? Why are you just buying things? So when I go to buy something, I need to know, what do I think the true value of this, or what is the potential value of this? If you can't answer what is the value of this or what is the potential value of this, why the fuck are you buying it? It makes no sense, right? If the goal is to buy something and sell it at a higher price, why is it going to go up? There needs to be a fundamental logical reason that would explain it's going to go up, right? Well, what took lumber up? There was something that took lumber up. And then now something's taking lumber down, right? Well, what I realized is I couldn't always understand that. Or sometimes it would do opposite. Sometimes a company would blow out earnings and rip. Sometimes they'd do terrible on earnings and still go up. And sometimes they'd do great on earnings and the price would go down. You know? And I began to realize there's a lot of, day to day, there's a lot of confusion. There's chaos, man. And I had to figure out a way to turn chaos into order. And the way I began to do that was through a set of assumptions. And then what was the easiest way to do this that would allow me to go about my day? Go to a place and look for duplexes out of my town, or go look for like, how could I trade this game and be able to go make money over here and go do this over here and go do this over here and not be glued staring at my computer screen? I didn't need to do that, man. And I just began to do that as a general way of practice. So if we're going to buy lumber, we need to start with some sort of thesis or some sort of thought process on why it would go higher. And, you know, maybe what gets you looking at it, oil's at a historically low price, or oil's gone straight down for 22 weeks. And you're watching it. And what we do is inside the money flow, well, yeah, in one way we are anticipating, but we're not predicting, is we know this RSI can go extreme, and we know moves in. So if we're looking at stocks, let's pull up, I don't know, man. Let's look at Beyond Meat. I'm just making up shit now. All right, if I'm looking at Beyond Meat, let me bring this screen in a little bit. Oh, you know, if I picked a good one. I've been out of this stock for a minute. And look at these boxes we got going. You're like, well, I don't understand the box thing. Look, man, don't get any clearer than this. Price will begin to go sideways. You can see it. These are stages on a daily chart. You can have them on a weekly chart. You could have them on a monthly chart, right? Obviously, the bigger ones get built out. You know, they say listen, for me, that was too far out, and trying to do it on a 5-minute or a 1 hour was too close in. And so I needed something to accommodate my day where I could see these big moves so that I could make $70 a share, $100 a share. I don't want $3, man. I'm trying to get fucking rich. I want to be able to put in 10,000, 20,000 and watch it go to 50,000. Like, I want to be able to see that, man. That's the goal. I'm not saying you're there today, but you can just add a zero. So if you bought $1,000 worth and you wrote it from $1,000 to $1,800, that could have been 10,000 to 18,000, right? Now you bring 4 home, you're leaving the rest to trade, right? You got other trades going. So the idea is at some point to pay yourself from your trading, but keep trading, man. So the ultimate goal first is, if you're trading, if you're smart, I meet guys all the time. They're like, well, I'm going to get completely out of my stocks and I'm buying this house. I can't comprehend it because I'm playing this game. I'm trying to get to $1 million fucking dollars. So when I'm trading, I'm taking $200,000 positions so that when I win, I'm winning. Like I'm bringing 50 grand. I just bring it home, man. And I still have shit tons of money to trade. That's where I'm trying to get to. And I can't get to there if I take my money out all the time. I can't get to there trading that big if I don't let the account get bigger or put money in. Now, I wouldn't advise pouring it in, but the beautiful thing is you can do it fractal. So if you can't do it with thousands, you can't do it with 10,000s, you damn sure can't do it with hundreds of thousands. What if you were taking $100,000 trade? I mean, look at this. These numbers are fractal, man. People are like, well, I can't do. Why not? Why couldn't you? You dream that little? You can't imagine 5 trades in a row and all of a sudden you got 80 grand? Like that's you can't imagine that? Look, that's $105,000, let's say. What is this up here? When we would say take profit, you know we would, right? Why? RSI is extreme. We're taking it down. We went from 105 to 155. That looks like the annual salary of the average American in one fucking trade. How many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 days. Completed swing trade. Stage 1 hits the RSI. Bam. Trade's done. Well, I only got 1,000. Good. You made 500, right? Or 50 or whatever, man. My point is, I'm trying to figure out how to get these to $1 million moves. Like, how do we do that? The game is fractal, which means I can just keep adding and adding. So when a guy says, what do you think I should do with Bitcoin? I was like, man, you ain't got enough money to worry about what to do with Bitcoin. You need to buy stage 1s and you need to get that shit fucking massive so that when it does move up, and it will, it's been around for 10 years. All right. It was $1 trillion. Like this is going back up. I don't know when. Maybe it goes down before it goes up. But this game will play out whether you play it or not. It ain't going anywhere. Institutions are coming in, insurance companies, bigger money. Whether you decide to play this or not, this game will be played. And if you go back on this chart, let's go to a weekly. And if you learn to identify stage 1s, now I'm finding them on a weekly, but just fast forward and pretend like we're on a daily. And if we just accumulate stage 1s, man, all the obvious stage 1s, we buy them. Now I'm on a weekly right now, right? How are we doing? Doing pretty good. And you say, well, this one can't go any higher. Yeah, it can. It did it over here, man. Look. Like it can do, you don't think it can do it again? Not possible? The fact that this is even fucking possible, I would like to play it. And you say, but what if it comes down here? Good. We'll buy that one too, man. We'll buy that one and then that one. And then I'll keep playing this game, keep pushing forward. And when it runs, look out, man. See, another thing that's been added to the component of this is you can borrow against it. That changes the game, man. You can use it as a banking item. You now can play the stage 1 with this as a tool. This could be a tool, man. When it does run, let's say we do get our run and it runs up. We're not selling it and taking the profit. We're borrowing against it. Huh? Pull the money out on the borrow. Go buy you whatever you want. Your Bitcoin's going to pay it back. And you say, well, I got to pay it back. You do if you want to keep the Bitcoin. If you don't want to, let the Bitcoin pay you back. They'll bang it every month for the payment if you don't make it. And it don't go on your credit. How about that? But I try to make it. And maybe you make it because the Bitcoin doubles. And then it's free. And you got Bitcoin. And you got the car or the house. Man, the mindset, if people get their mind around that all of a sudden you get to play a collateralized, you can't do that with Exxon, man. You can't do this with Exxon. I can't go to my bank. Hold on, I'm messing up. This is what people are missing. I was trying to explain them this when we went to no commission trading. They didn't know the world was fixing to open. The whole fucking world now has a smartphone and there's no commissions to trade. You don't think that could affect the market? It's going to change it forever. You thought it went up before, it's going up. But guess what? The downs are going to be big and fast because everyone's on a smartphone, man. They're not calling it into their broker. They're hitting a button. You can't take Exxon. This is Exxon. And so if you follow the money flow, what's a breakout? What's a breakout? Price breaking out above the green line. That's what I teach in the book. The foundation. And you say, yeah, you do other stuff. Yeah, I've been trading 21 years. And this has always been a breakout. Guess what it is tomorrow? A breakout. Guess what it'll be when you quit trading because you're a little bitch and couldn't stick with it, which is most people. Most people, by the way, most of people on here will not finish trading. Life will take your fucking trading money. You'll be like, oh, I got to buy this, and so I'm going to take it from my trading account. And your trading account never gets any bigger. And the guy puts in a couple grand and he fucks around with it without ever getting down the mind, the method, and the money. He never takes on the religion of being a trader. He never follows the big five. He never learns the 12 sectors of the S&P 500 and the 258 subsectors and all the differences between the penny stocks and the mortgage REITs and the business development companies and the ETNs and the bonds and the futures and the commodities. And he doesn't learn all these things. It doesn't become intertwined into his life. He doesn't wake up going, where in the fuck is the S&P 500? Every day. Where is it? Where's Bitcoin? You know where Bitcoin is right now? Why do you have to think about it? You can borrow against it. That means you get to play a game that goes up 70% of the time, and you get to borrow against it. So when it got really low, if you had a bunch of shares, you could borrow against it and buy more of it. And you say, well, what if it goes out? Then they just keep the Bitcoin. That's it. They're not coming to take your house. They're not coming to get your car. So you're playing this game with it, that as part of the equation. So as I go to New Orleans and I'm looking for a duplex, I need to know what is a reasonable price. If I'm going to do a bunch of the work, when I'm done, will this house be worth $200 or $325? Can I do that? Now I can back out the math, right? I can begin to create a plan of success. I can organize it. I'm doing a 1031 exchange. I'm rolling that. That gives me access. I could borrow up to 600,000. I want at least 2 units, maybe 3 units, right? And so we can begin to map it out. And we know what is a breakout, right? So if you get up every day to play this, I mean, how does that help you with Exxon? Do you want to buy this? Or do you want to buy after this? This is going to play every day, whether you play it or not. It's going to keep moving. And in 8 years, some kid playing Exxon. It's going to be moving up and down. And there's going to be some people who've played it every day. They've watched the price of Exxon every fucking day. They look to see where oil is. They look to see where are we at in the business cycle. They look at their own life and the people around them. And they're in tune. I call this the money flow, and it's all around you, right? People have insurance. Well, guess what? Those are insurance companies. That's a subsector inside of the S&P 500. And the weather affects that. Did you know that? Did you know that weather affects insurance? What the president's going to do and when they're going to vote, right? And we can't predict all that, but we could look at charts and find out when's a good time to buy. So is it a good time to buy banks right now? XLF? No. No, that'd be a stage 4 decline. Is this a bottom? No. Nope. Why? We need 4 candles that hold a bottom. Are they holding the bottom? Do you see how I could walk you down this trade every day? We're looking at this, and every day we walk this down and we take it down. And guess what we're going to buy? The absolute fucking bottom. We will. And it'll move. I do it all the time. They say, well, you can't say that. Past performance isn't indicative of future results. Okay, well, I don't know what else would be. But okay, that's what you say. Right? And so that's what we see. And you'll see it, man. You'll see it clear as day as you begin to look at charts. And that's a runaway, right? If you're in the boot camp, you know these are a runaway. Where it won't form the other side, man. It just keeps running. You got to identify those because that's what makes you rich. That's what turns $1,000 into 5,000 or 10 into 20 or 20 into 60 like I just did with BX. I'm up 66,000. And I started playing it with 4. I started playing it with 4 and now it's 60 and pays a dividend. And I've been playing it for about 5 years. So every day for 5 years, I've watched where that price of that stock is that pays a dividend. And we've gone from $20 to $90. And I've been buying the stage 1s, man. Accumulating. Now what are we doing? Downsizing to buy what? Other stocks, right? Not all of it. Hey, I'm going to pull out and come back. And they only gave me an hour, man. They used to give me longer. I don't know why but they don't give me longer. I'll be back on Instagram. What's up, YouTube? What's up? Where's Ethereum? Why we got this so large? Father's Day. Thank you, sir. Go 11. I mean, Robin's had a baby, huh? Or no, that must be an old picture. Dude's old now. I used to watch that dude on infomercials before the internet. Chapter 8, The Science of Getting Rich says, thinking in a certain way, a good chapter. If you're in the 17 steps, I'm fixing to start back up, finish chapter 5, and keep that going again. Got 17 to do. At the end, you could opt out and opt back in, and it might make more sense if you get them every day, but I'm just building it out as we go. Chapter 8 says, turn back to chapter 6 and read again the story of the man who formed a mental image of his house and how he will get a fair idea of the initial step toward getting rich. You must form a clear and definitive mental picture of what you want. You cannot transmit an idea unless you have it yourself. So one of the things I do when I buy a stock or buy a real estate is, what's my end game? What's the purpose of this house? I've never purchased a property not knowing what I want to do with it. And then I'm like, I don't know what I should do. Like when people, I'm just like, what? How do you own something you don't know what you want to do with? And I guess because I play this game every day to make money. And so I have assets, I have cash for liquidity, I have trading account, I have a buy and hold account. And if you're in the B&H account, you know what we're doing. And if we're in the trade account, I know what we're doing. And then if I pick up something, I'll say, hey, this is a swing trade, which means what? I don't have the conviction to hold it down. Meaning I'm going to buy it on a move up. I'm going to get my money and get out. And if I say position trade, it means I'm going to trade around it. So like Bitcoin is a position trade. I'm going to trade around it. And I mean, I want to buy these sell-offs and I want to sell into strength. So I'm a seller into that, right? I'm a buyer into and so it'd be the opposite, right, of what we're trying to do. So that depends. That's time frame, man. So you got to know that when you come in. The moment you start figuring that out, this gets easier. Same with real estate. Like there's a difference between buying a house that you're going to rent and buying a house that you might want to flip. It's two completely different things, different kinds of houses, different shit in them, different neighborhoods, different locations. It would be for me 100%, right? So same with trading. So as you come in, you got to ask yourself, is the goal of what I'm trying to do here is to flip this inventory? Am I going to change up the stocks that I have on hand, right? Now, like sometimes when the market comes out, you'll hear me talking about conviction. I'm not talking about on swing trades. I'm talking about position trades. If you're going to position trade, you have to hold them in order to own them to be able to buy them when they're lower. Because I've just never seen anyone that can navigate moving all out and all back in. And I've just never seen that work over a long. If you can do that, you are a rare, special human being. Like, because otherwise other people would, it's hard, man. And so what I began to just play with that set of assumptions that I talked about, that price goes up over 70% of the time, man. And then I believed, and I began to memorize this pattern, and I would look for the pattern to play out on a chart. So if you showed me a stock and I can't see this, don't show me the stock. I won't do anything with it. I'm not the guy to ask. And so if I can't see this moving, I don't like it. Now, I could own something that I don't see it moving, but I can't game an edge. This is when I can game an edge, when it starts to move. Right now, I could look at the fundamental value and say, yeah, I think it's undervalued. When's it going to go? I don't know. I don't have any idea. Neither do you. And we could just own it because we like it. But as I begin to see this pattern emerge, this gives me insight into price. And if I get big sell-offs, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a stage one. I'm not looking for it to go down anymore. I'm calculating the stage one. And so this is the Dow Jones. So if you're just looking at a chart of this, what is this? It's hard to, you're just looking at chaos. There's some red shit, black shit. It went up, it went down. Okay. And what does that mean? And so as I looked at this, I began to write, all right, we need some sort of like center line, right? And so if you come over here, you're going to see what they call layovers. It's just simple drop down box. Most things are doing it the same. You click simple moving average. I'm going to change this to a 20. And you see where it says color? I'm going to make it green. And let's see, style, we want it solid. And this is how wide you want it. You might make it a little extra wide, right? Let's go with auto. Let's update. There we go. And so now I got a 20-day moving average on this. And if inside of the money flow, what I began to realize, and this is on an index, let's put it on a stock. Let's pick a stock here. Let's go Roku. Just making up some shit. Let's go Roku. And what I would be looking for, what I'm really looking for is when price comes above it, because that tells me that price is moving higher. And you say, well, that's not perfect. Nope, it is not. And when it goes above it, it's pretty bullish, right? And what I found is when price is on this side, it tends to want to stay on that side. When it goes to this side, it tends to want to stay on this side, right? And you get little attempts and then it gets pulled back down, right? And so this seems chaotic, and it is. This is chaos. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, up, it's down. But what I'm looking for as I watch this play out is this. I'm looking for a pattern to emerge of price accumulating, meaning it's bouncing, it's bouncing, it's bouncing, then it starts to drift higher. These drift higher and drift lower zones are price moving below or above that green line right there, right? So as I'm watching this green line, I'm like, okay, cool. If this is the stage two, according to the money flow, this needs to be a box and be a stage one, right? And so as I look at it, say, yeah, it kind of is. Price came down, it went sideways, and it broke out. Cool, stage two breakout. Where would I be looking to sell? Stage three. How do we identify that? Well, same thing. The RSI goes extreme to the upside. So instead of it being extreme to the low side, it tends to go extreme to the upside, meaning its relative is set to 14 days. It's tracking 14 days of price. So a swing trade is going to come in usually 14 days or less. That's going to run its course. Where we at with Roku? If you're doing a pure swing trade, if it gets going and breaks and we go straight up for 12, 13, 14 days, that RSI is going to bang extreme. Let's leave this on there. Hold on. So that's our 20. The line in the sand. Price moves above it, I assume it's going up. Price moves below it, I assume it's going down. But there's 5 other parts, right? 5 other things. I got to put all these, it's like a piece of the puzzle. I got to put all these together inside of the big picture of, is price moving in the pattern that I'm looking for, right? Of going sideways and then up and then sideways and then down and then sideways and then what? Up. Yep. What I'm looking for is the big up, baby. The $100 up. That's what I'm looking for. But I know along the way, it's going to stop where it stopped before. So I'm already mapping out. I can draw out the Roku trade shit. I already see where, I know exactly where we're going to hit the RSI, what the price is going to be, man. I know when it's 423, the RS, like I can see it. I've watched it so many times. So I'm watching this trade unfold. I'm seeing it. Isn't that what the book said to do? Turn back to the story in chapter 6, and you'll get a fair idea of the initial step toward getting rich. You must form a clear and definitive mental picture of what you want. Cannot transmit an idea unless you have it yourself. Meaning I can see this is where we're going to take it down. I know what I'm doing. I'm already doing. I've done it 100 fucking times since we got in the trade. In my head, looking at it every day when I look at the chart, sell, sell. Like I'm already planning this out. Clear, definitive mental image. Clear, very clear. Exactly what I wanted to do. And it can't do it unless it breaks above it. And it's doing it. So now I assume it goes here and I assume it goes here. Clear, definitive mental image. And that is that, right? So these things are going to line up and this is going to move up. And the stage 3, I'm on what? Start taking it down. If I'm position trading, if I'm swing trading, I need to start getting out. And then people say, well, what if it keeps going up? Good. Guess what? When you flip a house, next year it's worth more. So when a house flipper flips a house and he says, oh, I made money. You made little money, chump money. You made the quick money, man. You didn't make the money. The money's owning it for 30 fucking years and refinancing it 10 times and buying 20 more houses off of that house. That's the real money. Oh, that's kind of rude. That's the real money, man. The real money is getting money from it and you don't pay for the house and the bank gives you the loan and the customers pay off the loan. And you do that 2, 3, 4, 5 times over dozens of houses. Oh, you thought we were going to get the little flip money. Now, I'm trying to get fucking rich. I don't know what you guys are doing every day. I don't know what kind of little money you're trying to trade. Oh, I want to get $2 move. Now, I'm trying to get to 460, man. So I need to see this clear in my mind. Is it possible it could go to 460? Has it ever gone to 460 before? Yes. All right. What could help me know when this thing, so if we come over here, and I went and read, and I read up on the RSI, and I'm like, wow, this thing actually helps you know when price has gone too far, too high. Well, over here, sorry. We go to indicators. Come down here, and we're going to go to RSI. Just click it. 14, and where we want to put it, not below, baby. We want to put it above. Hit that button. Boom. Now, if you're in stock charts, I'm fixing to have a video coming out. I'm going to sell it to you greedy bastards too. It's going to cost you about 20 bucks. And I'm going to build these stock charts for you. And I'm going to talk you through setting up these charts, creating these like if I come over here and click crypto, right? I come over here and click all, right? I got 60 something cryptos I'm following. Stage 1 buy. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Stage 1 buy. Don't touch it. Stage 1 buy. Stage 1 buy. Don't touch it. Stage 1 buy. Right? And see how fast we can analyze cryptos? And we can be like, banned. Next. Bitcoin, SV, CeeLo Gold, right? Dash Coin. So as we go through these, all of these are lining up with the money flow, man. So we could track 60 to 80 tokens. What happens when they all start to break out? They're going to be a stage 2 breakout. It's going to break above the green line and price is going to run higher. Like this is what's going to happen when it breaks out. You can be there or not be there. You could be doing something else. You might be doing, I don't know what you're doing, man. I might not want to know. So you can be doing what you're doing when this breaks out, but it will break out. It's coming. We're seeing a ton of stage 1 setups right now, right? Now, so if we go back, I just fuck this up. Yeah. Get us off track here. Yeah. Now we're back to the 20. Do you sell if the RSI? Man, listen up. Not making it so simple. It's going to take you a year. It's going to take you a good year doing this. Because one, your brain is too soft right now. You're all a bunch, even the big tough guys, you got little soft brains. Big tough guys get scared. Oh, the market's dropping. We got to get your mind in the right place. We got to get your buckets right. We got to get you reading the right shit. Chapter 8, Science Get Rich says you have to have it before you can give it. And many people fail to impress thinking substance because they have themselves only a vague and misty concept of the things they want to do, to have, and to become. That's why we got to have a list, right? Our goals. So what is our trading goals? Well, trading's made up of 3 things. Mind, your method. That's what I'm showing you right now. I can't fix your mind. You're a weak bitch because you choose to be, or you have mental problems. Mind, method, and what? Money. Now, you control the money to a certain degree. Obviously, you're limited by how much you make, but you could go get more money. You could work 1 day a week and all that money just goes into your trading account. You could invest in you. That's what trading and stock, it's what position trading is. And so let's say you're new to trading, then don't play the game where you lose the money. Position trade, meaning trade the quality stocks and start buying stage ones. This is how you don't lose. You trade good companies and you position trade and you build a portfolio of different stocks. You're not trying to quick trade. So instead of going for flipping the house and making yourself 20 grand, congratulations, son. I'm going to keep the house and make 500 grand over 20 years. And then I'm going to go get a bunch more houses. And I'm going to let this house buy me another house that buys me another house that buys me another house. You take your 20 G's and go spend it. Yeah, there's a big difference, right? So a guy goes and flips a house and he takes the money and you say, oh, well, he might put it into another rental. Okay. All right. Pay your property, pay your taxes, whatever. I mean, you could do that. If you do it, do it. If you're actually doing that, then do that. But that's not how, that's not what, most of them are doing. It's about accumulation, because what you're giving up then is you have a small amount of money and you got to get each transaction correctly. If all of a sudden you have, I'm getting off track. We'll get back to that kind of, see, that's big picture thinking though. Let's shrink it in for the minnow minds. So if we're swing trading, we're basically looking to get our money here. We're looking to get in, and get out. That's the game. Okay? That's your game. You got to master that. You need to write that down. You need to be real clear that that is your game. How do you know this is the zone? Because price stops where it was before. That's why there's a thing called support and resistance. This is resistance. Down here is support, right? And that's why it exists. There's hundreds of books. Go to Amazon. We just come over here to Amazon. People are like, how do you learn this? Go to Amazon. Let's type in AMA. Let's go to Amazon. If I can even type. I bet there's 100 books on this. Support. Or you could just read mine. Yeah. We're just going to go on and on and on and on and on. This is actually a pretty good book. Right? Or you could just read my book. And that's where this phenomenon comes from. So how do I use that? Well, that just tells me price goes where it was before. If it stopped there before, might do it again. It going up, might do it again. So as this trade moves higher and I'm making money, because look, 368 to 460, right? 460, that's a big chunk. I can make a lot of money in there. I want to get it out. So as it goes higher, I downsize the trade, man. That's it. So you're setting predetermined targets and you're letting it run. RSI gets extreme, you take it off. Why? Because historically, when it gets extreme, it comes down. It means it's pushed too far, too fast, pulls back. Doesn't mean 100% the run is over. It might keep going. And if we're position trading, that means we don't get out here. Why? We want to buy more. Why? Because we want to sell more up in here. And we just keep moving money in and out from different positions, weighting the positions, putting more money on the ones breaking out and taking money off of the ones that have already, they've already hit their targets, right? That's what's up, man. Let's see, man. All right, so all we have on this chart right now, and this honestly all I need to trade, is the RSI price and the 20-day moving average. I'm looking for boxes to form under it. Price drop, goes sideways, and then what? I want to nibble, and then I want to buy on the break. Where am I setting my targets? Where it was before. So that becomes a clear mental image. So as I begin to approach a stock like, let's say, Uber, what did I catch? Big move down, right? And I was watching that move down. You know, this is one of our new trades. What am I looking to form? A box. Here we go. There's our low. The RSI Extreme. Stock is undervalued. The average value of this company is, I think, $72. Check tip ranks. So when people show me stocks, I'm like, yeah, but what about Uber? Hard for me to see. And remember, I was doing that with Facebook. They'd be like, what do you think of this stock? I'd say, what about Facebook? Facebook was cheap. Uber's undervalued by 45%. They'd show me another stock, and I'm like, yeah, but what about Facebook? It was so cheap. It was, you know, it was hard for me to take in other ideas. I'm just like, look how cheap this is, man. Why is it better? So, you know, I have to buy, and then I got to buy the breakout. My first target, has it ever been here before? Has it ever been here before? Yeah, a bunch of times. All right. So, you know, that's the game I'm playing. I'm looking to accumulate stage ones to sell it for a much bigger return here. Or downsize it. Or downsize it. Come on, man. It's going to be a big one. A TDOC. Teladoc. Do we see the money flow pattern? That's the first thing I'm looking for. Oof. This one looks like space, right? Oh, dude, I fucked it up. So we don't want to add all those indicators yet. Little trick on stock charts. See this? You put it over here, it's going to go to what you have saved as default. So if you come over here, click Save as Default, see it? Whatever you put on the screen will now be on there every time you come here for all charts. Don't forget to do that. A lot of people do that. I'm fixing to have a little short, like 1 hour tutorial on stock charts, how to use it, how to set up your charts with the money flow, man. So are we seeing it? Yeah, we're seeing it. I might record that today. Are we seeing it? We're seeing it, right? Whew. That swing trade. So if you're trading to the short side, right, you got to be out. That's it. It's over for you. Start taking the trade down, man. You got another bump down. You got to get it out over here. Like, you're out, man. Got to be. Yeah, obviously, look, it kept going. Another stage one. Can you see? And I haven't been, but could you see if we were position trading this one? We put some on, we took some off, we put some on. I wouldn't have, we didn't take any out. We put some on. What are we going to start doing? Probably start taking some off. We're going to let it run, take some off, right? And in the meantime, as we take some off, what are we doing? We're looking to put it on one that what? Is setting up that we think is going to go higher. And so we play this little game called chess, man. Except we play it with stocks. In this world of chaos, it goes up and down, and there's no rhyme or reason. It moves based on fear and greed. And the more money you have in it, the bigger the return. But here's the funny thing. The more money you have in it, the bigger the return, but it doesn't take any more effort to do it with 30,000 as it does 3,000 or 3 million or 300 million. Probably you get to 3 billion, you're going to have problems doing it. Probably you get to 3 billion, you're going to have problems doing it. So in the book, you don't have to die broke. Watch. There's ARK funds. So that's got all the stocks that make up ARK. Look, click it. Click view all. All right, here we go, baby. All 60 of them. And what can we do? Buy the stage ones, buy the breakouts. We just ride them up, right? And we just go down the list, man. Just go down the list. Let somebody else do the research for us, tracking Kathy, right? So the stock chart becomes part of your tool list. This is the drill, man. This is the skill saw, right? So that takes time, though. You got to go find the stocks, put them in there, look, keep up with the company, get on their email list, right? What is Barron's? So I read Barron's. And as I read Barron's, I don't read every article constantly, but I am constantly scanning it and looking, and I see 3 stocks under value. I go read up on them. If I like them, I drop them in that list. What am I doing? I'm just keeping an eye on them. Bellwether. Morningstar has a thing called the dividend newsletter, and it's a newsletter around a real money portfolio of dividend stocks. I subscribe to it. I don't think you need to subscribe to it. I subscribe to about $2,000 in shit a year, but I'm trading, $1 million. And it helps me keep up with the companies that I'm trading. Is there a problem? Like, we don't want to ignore fundamental analysis because we have a chart, but we don't want to get blinded by fundamental analysis because we have a chart. In other words, we can merge the two and use the chart and use common sense. So this is Bitcoin. You go down crypto, China plays. So Kramer, I keep up with Kramer. The dude drops a lot of stocks. I like to keep up with shit he says. Dividend Kings, these are the top of the line, right? So if you come in here, how many do I got in there? Let's see. Damn. So there's 50-something stocks that I've concluded these are Dividend Kings. They just pay, right? And here, do you notice something that's happening? Look, they're selling off. Now hitting the RSI. What do you think I'm looking at now? I got to get some money into these buy and hold stocks. Why? Because stage ones are coming. So if these are dividend stocks, notice as I scan, red, 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 red. This is just red. These are dividend stocks. Red. Colgate, Palmolive, red. What is this? What is this? Oh, Cyrus One. That one's not red. But look where it stopped. Right where it stopped before. I read that in a book. So is this a buy? I need a couple more days and we can call this support. Look, the RSI is not extreme. So now what? As we look at the money flow, as we go through looking at this, trying to make sense, what are we seeing? Dividend stocks are going into a stage 4 decline. Your friend's calling you up going, yo, bro, did you see that chart? Why not, man? Are you tracking them? Look, red. This one's just getting started. Where do you think it's going? Shit's probably coming down to here. So what does that mean? It means you should be paying attention. Right now you could buy some, the guy says, Gerald, but I want to invest my emergency fund. Uh-huh. Maybe this is an emergency. Did it ever occur to you the emergency fund could be used to buy some shit when they're really on sale? Not because you're too fucking impatient and need to invest every penny. Right? Maybe because there's an actual reason to. Like it actually went on sale. So does this follow the money flow? Does this look like it goes down and then sideways and then up and then sideways and then down and then sideways and then where do you think it's going to come to? Probably right around in here. So we could write that down. So if we own this stock in our portfolio, California Water Services, and they pay a dividend, where should we be looking to buy? Right now, right here, I'm going to be looking to buy right here, right? That's the pattern. It's going to go down until it stops. And how will we know it stops? RSI will go extreme. It'll put in a bottom. It'll start to go sideways, right? And we can make that assumption, man. And we can then, the Dividend Kings, this is a big picture. So that's one thing I'm looking at. What would be another one? Let's see. Dow 30. Dogs of the Dow. Investors Business Daily, top 50. These are the 50, what they think are the best 50 growth stocks. You watch these, right? That's a paper you'd have to subscribe to. So I subscribe to Barron's, Morningstar, a couple different products I subscribe to. I don't do the Wall Street Journal, it's too political. What else do I subscribe to? Tip Ranks. What else do I subscribe to? And a bunch of things. In IBD, Investors Business Daily. Do I read all of these every day? No. Then you'll get the guy and goes, well, I feel like I'm wasting my $30. I'm trading $1 million, son. If I get one idea one time a year from this motherfucker, it was well worth it. If they give me one stock one time a year, it was worth the price of this subscription for me. Okay. But I'm playing a bigger game. I'm trying to make millions of dollars. Millions. I want to make millions of dollars, not 10,000, not pull all my money out and go buy real estate. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to turn these stocks into millions of dollars in stocks. And I can't do that taking the money out to go do something else because I'm so limited in my thinking that I can only have one thing going at a time. That's how people think. No, I can do this and do real estate same time. You can do it. You can fish. You could pee standing up or sitting down. They both work. Let's see. So you see how we could take the money flow and maybe it's bigger. People will come in with me like in about 3 weeks. Oh, I got this. You don't know shit. You just started, son. You just learned how to work a chart. We ain't even got into the more complicated shit like option plays, getting into international plays. So like I'm doing this 8 days a week. If you trade with me, you're into crypto, you're getting texts on that. Why? Because the crypto market's going on Saturday. You might get a text from me at 11:30 on Sunday night. Why? Because the game is still being played, man. The guy says, do you ever stop watching it? No, I don't. So if I go somewhere and there's a little real estate book, I grab the real estate book. Now I can look on my phone. Used to, if I'd go into Denny's or something, I got to grab the book. Why? I need to see what the square footage is, man. We're here. It's right there. Why not look? And so I just began to always look. I'm just looking. Why? I'm looking for the universe to give me money, man. I expect the universe to give me money. I expect to run in and find houses. I fully expect that house that I showed you. I fully expect that house is going to sell and buy me a duplex or a triplex in New Orleans, this house here. So I'm going to roll this 190. I've already got it planned. Like I can see the house in my mind. I'm already thinking about the motherfucker that's going to rent from me that lives next door that's super quiet. And the only fucking animal they have is a stupid little fat cat. And they have a little fat cat that plays in the courtyard. That's what I'm talking about. And he's probably a single person or a single lady, maybe unattractive, doesn't have many friends, just weird, and is going to live in my other side and not bug me. Like I'm already formulating in my mind the person that would rent it. You get what I'm saying? Like this is like, so when I come to the stock market, I need to see this clear, man. Are we swing trading? Are we position trading? Or are we investing? Because it is different in how we approach this thing called the money flow, man. I don't know your time frame or your age or how much money you're playing for. And it doesn't matter if we're talking about Dogecoin or Coca-Cola, right? But they're different, right? You're going to get, where is, I get asked all the time about Doge. Let's play Doge, shit. Let's do it, man. We're going to play it to win it though, right? So Doge is in a stage 1 right now. You should be buying Dogecoin. If you have any belief in this asset, this is where you start accumulating, man. Look, it's right there, dude. Has it ever been here before? Yes. So all those people that panic, oh, I got to get out. Dummy, it's been here before. It'll go up again and then it'll come down again. And so if we can take the money flow now we don't like, we can add order to this. Can we add order to the chaos of what is Doge? It's not chaotic. It's stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. People like, where do you think AMC will go? Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Like I see it clearly. It's not surprising. It's not unusual. It's not odd. Look, it went below the line, right? But look, there's support here. If this breaks, guess what? It's going to the next level. Where's that? About right there. fully expect it to go there. It means I don't need to buy if it breaks. I can wait. And when it gets here, it'll stop and go sideways. Well, let's say it doesn't and runs up. Where do you think it'll go? Probably where it was before. That's called resistance. So now we're beginning to map out a plan to play Dogecoin. All right, let's do it. Let's play some. Shit, let's use your money. Send me your money and I'll buy Dogecoin and keep you updated. So this is how I would approach it. So cool, we're in Dogecoin. What is our downside target if support breaks? It'd be 7 cents. Does that seem likely? No. That seems really far down. Okay. Is support held here before? Yes. So that's a stage 1. So now we can start to accumulate. Isn't that what it's called? Stage 1? So as we're looking at Dogecoin right now, it's in a stage 1 accumulation. You should be accumulating Dogecoin right now if you believe in this product. Right? So we start buying it. We know if it breaks, we got to stop. So we don't want to be all in until it breaks up. Until it breaks out, you greedy bastard. Wait. Called discipline. Get some. Learn what you're doing. Clear mental image. So you must have it before you can give it. And many people fail to impress thinking substance because they have themselves only a vague and misty concept of the things they want to have or to become. Well, if I want to sell Dogecoin on a stage 3, I need a stage 1 to set up and price to break out, which is what? Price moving above the 20-day moving average. Now that is confirmed when the trigger, right out of the book, crosses the 20. We don't need to wait for the confirmation. People say, Gerald, why'd you do that? The book says this. I know, because I've been doing it for 20 years. Like I can anticipate. I can see it. I already saw it in my mind. I know what's going to happen. I watch it every day. Every day. I look at Bitcoin about every 20 minutes. Like I know where it's at. I know what stage it's in. You're confused. I'm not. I know exactly what's going to happen. It's going to go up or it's going to go down. And when it goes up, it's going to go to a stage 3. And when it goes down, it's going to go into a stage 4. How long those last? I don't know. Don't care. Don't need to know. Really. To be honest, if I'm trading it for life, I don't need to know. If I'm not in a full position yet and it goes down, good. Right there, I just lost about half the people. Because you're trading in chaos, man. So as this moves up, boom, we're going to sell some, then guess what? We're going to let the rest rip. So, fuck it. Doge to the moon, man. Take it to $1. Now, you might say, well, there's no utilitarian use. I know. So if you'd asked me a couple months ago, would you buy this? No. You say, well, why would you buy it now? Because it's been there before. Ha ha! That's the money flow, man. That's the money flow, man. That's it. Where it's been before, it can go again. Up and down. And you don't know the up or down. You don't know. All you can do is go off the evidence. This is evidence. And so anybody that talks with certainty or think they know are stupid or delusional or try to sell you something. They don't know. They don't know. They can't go read, go down a blog hole or rabbit hole, go on fucking YouTube and come up with some conspiracy theory about this and that, and this is going to happen, and I'm going to move all my assets. These are stupid people. That's not how the world works, man. You don't trade based on ancient aliens or aligning the moon or the coming collapse. You trade on what you actually see fucking happening on the charts. Right? That's what you see. That's what is actually happening. And prices will go up long before it looks like it should. And when things look good, it'll start to come down. Buy the rumor, sell the news. And this is what confuses people. And I go, oh, you're trying to trade on intellect. I'm sorry. I thought you were a mature trader. You still think you can think this through logically. So stupid. It is so dumb. People will come at me with the crazy, well, don't you think due to the Chinese, blah, blah. I'm like, what? No. Here's what I think about the Chinese, the FXI. Let's pull that chart up. This is what I think, FXI. I think it's in a stage 1, and it looks like it's going to go up. Because over time, it goes up. 71% of the time, it goes up. Okay? And it's already come down. We already had a big move down. And now it seems to be going sideways to me. Okay? So we got this big sideways. Now, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. It's not a pretty chart, but I'm seeing it clearer every day. If you turn back to chapter 6, chapter 8 says it opens in chapter 8 thinking in a certain way. Again, the story of a man who formed a mental image of his house. And you will get a fair idea of the initial step toward getting rich, but you must first form a clear and definitive mental picture of what you want. And you cannot transmit this idea unless you have it yourself. And so as I look at this is what I see. Stage 1, stage 2 breakout, pull back a little. Where are we going? RSI's up here, probably right around in here. It probably hits around 50. And then we'll let it run until 53. Is it possible? Is it possible? Does the possibility exist that the Chinese stock market could possibly go where it was before? Is that theoretically possible? Yes. Okay. And over time, does it tend to go higher? If we go back to the beginning to today, does it drift high? Yes. All right, cool. So we got that going. So the game to play would be to be buying the stage 1s, man. Right? Stage 1. We're long China, baby. So, back this up. I want to show you something. So I print my own newsletter because I'm old school. I used to do this by hand. I would do all of this by hand. I would print off pictures. What's the name of your book? Man, David, click the damn links. Book's called The Money Flow. Don't buy it on Amazon. Jeff Bezos has enough money. Buy it from me. I'll sign the damn thing and send it to you. Might even talk to you one day. Just don't get weird. So, time to take profits. New trade, UTSL, OTC play, ARBKF. Took profits from Zoom, downsizing position, moving gains to Uber. And I go on to tell you what we're doing. Let's see. Several other positions were downsized into strength this week as expected. As expected. What do you mean expected? I mean, I have expectations. What are your expectations this week? That doesn't mean I know. It means I expect. Based on what? Based on charts, man. I expect certain things to happen. As expected, has been exciting for stocks inside of the money flow trading portfolios. New trade of the week, PSFE, page 11. If you want to, let's see, blah, blah, blah. Money flow. Okay, let's go. Breaking out HTBX, Prong, Spain. I need to update the bottom of that. Let's see. All right. So as I go through every day, I notice at the top, I've been buying Bitcoin daily, dripping into a larger position, goals, 1 full coin by July. Now, if it breaks out and runs on me, I'm probably going to stop that. But it's a stage 1. Drip, 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 drip. I'm just buying. If I get to a full coin, I'm going to stop. I'm going to chill, okay? And then I put my focus on something else. So what I'm saying is an affirmation here. I'm projecting into the future that if this stage 1 gives me enough time, I'm going to buy every day on the stage 1 until I get to full coin. I'm saying that now, and I wrote that on there, what, a month ago? 2 months ago? Was it a month ago? Let's see. What is that? Speaking as, talking as if, walking as though. Yeah, it's been a minute now, huh? We started that over in here. So that's the plan. I got to stay with it. If this breaks, I'll stop. And then when it goes to the next one, guess what? I'll probably start that again. Oh, you think it's never coming back? Okay. Those guys don't ever do too well in the market. It's never coming back. My stock is never coming back. Let's see. Remember Shop? Remember Shop? This is a swing trade. And I'm downsizing now. Why? It just sold off too cheap, man. So, did it hit our target? What's the target? Where it was before? It ain't complicated. Has it ever been there before? Yep. Where were we buying it? Stage one. Stage one. No need to sell it because it stayed in the stage one, right? Isn't that what Bitcoin's doing? As long as it's in this general area, I don't, yeah, it goes up, comes back, goes up, comes back, whatever. It's building a big stage one. Sometimes they look picture perfect, man. But look, you got a little mini inside of here, but it kept holding it, right? So it's just giving you a chance to buy more. And now we're hitting our target. So now I'm downsizing the trade, man. I'm selling into what? I'm selling into, go to the pattern. There, right? Now, I'm always looking at the pattern. So anytime someone says, what do you think of this stock or that stock? This is what I look at. Where is it at on the pattern? And if the pattern looks good, I like it. Off the top of my head, I like it. Let's say it's day one of a breakout. Yeah, I love that stock. Now I got to go look at tip ranks. Now I got to go scan it through Yahoo. Now I got to go to the company website, see what the fuck they do, how much money they make. Can this thing go higher? Has it ever done it before? Yeah, good. That makes it even easier, right? So is Shopify growing or falling back? It's growing, Can it go up higher? Of course it can. Now it is, right? So now I'm scaling out. I'm buying weakness, selling strength. This is perfect swing trading, right? So let's see, I did that? I hope I logged it. Every once in a while I miss logging something, man. It can happen. I'm getting to be an old man. That's why I make sure everybody knows the rules. I had a guy go, well, why didn't you tell me? And like, bro, you have charts. Look, if the RSI goes 70 and I don't contact you, the rules say to sell the stock. There could be a reason I didn't. Maybe I'm just being a little greedy. I'm going to give it one more day. Sometimes I do that. That's because I got a little bit of experience. And sometimes you can just see a runaway. And I just let the energy, the flow of the universe, like I expect, like I'm thinking on it. I've been thinking on it. I expect it to go higher. It's why I own it, man. And so, sometimes I feel it like I should let this run a little bit. Look, oh yeah, taking profits in Shop, MRAM, VSTM. What was going on with VSTM? VSTM. Oh, we want to sell into strength, right? Looks like there's a box forming here. There was one here too. I'm just trimming it, man. I'm going to keep letting it roll. We're going to keep some shares. At a certain point, we got to stop trimming and just leave it be. Don't, be careful. Well, unless it was your plan to kill it. I don't kill it until it goes into a stage 4 decline. So I've told you there's different ways to trade the money flow. There are people, when they make a buy, I got a good buddy. This is how he runs the money flow. He uses my strategy, he trades, and we do it different. He buys a breakout, and he gets out on stage 3. Once he's out, he's out. Moves on. Don't give a fuck. Goes up, goes without him. Why? Because most of the time it doesn't just keep going. I don't like doing that, man. I don't like doing that. And I would go and look. Okay, what is this stock worth? Let's go look. This will help determine when I'm trading this, right? So VSTM. All right, so $6. Still 25% upside. Here's what is here in my experience, this is what happens. This stock will pull back. Just like the RSI told us. So we took some off. We took some off. We have a much smaller position than we had back here. That's a buy, right? That's a buy. Take some off. That's a buy, right? You wanted to. I probably wouldn't have there. That's a buy. Take some off. Take some off. Where are we playing to? $6, baby. Guess what? That's going to take months, right? Getting to $6 is going to take months, maybe a year, man. Maybe now it pulls back. We go into a stage 4 decline. It comes back to here. And now when we go to tip ranks, it doesn't say 20. Here, I'm about to blow your mind. It doesn't say 25%. Now it says 50%. And I'm back excited about this stock. And I've made money trading this stock. And I might ride this bitch all the way to 50 or whatever it ends up riding it to. I've been riding Roku since the beginning. I've been riding Pinterest since the beginning. Been riding Uber since the beginning. Right? Not the beginning. I don't buy IPOs, but you know what I mean. Meaning we stay with this thing, man. Think about this. If you'd have played this game with Facebook, position trading Facebook, you can swing it, do both. Swing trade with your options, swing trade and position trade with your shares. Then you'll never lose, man. I mean, your balance may go down, but you're never going to lose, right? We want to buy the boxes under the green line. Those are the stage 1s, right? We want to sell the boxes that get way away from the green line. So if I was options trading, that's what it would look like, right? Now I'm backdating, obviously looking at it perfect, but you want to be buying that and selling that, right? Does that make sense? The configuration of this is priced on this side of the green line, and then over here, price is on that side of the green line. So we're not buying options up here, right? We want to buy them on this kind of setup. And so we're waiting. We're not forcing it. And so the way I do options is sprinkle them. I wait for the perfect setup, man. I want it to be fucking easy. I want to be able to just like walk up and just take a kid's shit and walk away. Like, I want my setups to be easy. I'm not trying to force an options play, man. So I want them to be easy. Like H&R Block I thought was easy. And you say, what do you mean? Meaning it does the pattern, dude. It does the pattern and it's undervalued. And it's not speculative. It's a real business. It sells off, puts in a thing, starts to go sideways, and the stock is obviously worth more money. And we had a catalyst of tax time coming, right? Remember this one? Did an options trade.